गुरुभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ओम् वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्गपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने सर्वतन्त्रस्वतन्त्राय सदात्माद्वैतवेदिने श्रीमते शङ्करार्याय वेदान्त गुरवे नमः योऽवतीर्ण इहाचार्य रूपेण यतीनामुदे श्रीमन्नारायणं वन्दे तं हरिं करुणानिधिं मननाख्यं प्रकरणं वासुदेव यतीश्वरैः रचितं विस्तरेणाद्य संग्रहेण प्रकाश्यते बालानाम् उपकाराय मम विज्ञानसिद्धये तत्र श्रीबालगोपाल कृष्णः सन्निहितो भवेत्। ॐ नमः शिवाय। Yesterday's topic, to recapitulate a little bit before we proceed, is that the Purva Paksha raised a question as Vritti is also Manasa Karma. And you have already established that Ajnanam is Jnana Nashyam, that it can be destroyed, removed only by knowledge. Now, he says, but then you will require what you call as jnana is Ghatajnana means Ghatakara Vritti. Ghatajnanam also you mean Ghatakara Vritti. So Vritti is also used to mean knowledge. Now, sir, and Vritti by nature is Manasa Karma. Then you have come back to square one, where you said that karma cannot be the nivartaka, remover of ignorance. But over here, that vritti with whom you are going to remove the Ghatajnanam as well as Ajnanam about Brahma is Brahmakara vritti. Like you have Ghatakara vritti, Patakara vritti, you have Brahmakara vritti also. So ultimately, then vritti alone is going to be over there and work as knowledge. And vritti by nature is karma because it is karanajanyam. Whatever is trivida karanajanyam, you called as knowledge, whether it is the three karanas, the body, mind, and speech. Okay. All of you remember yesterday's class, right? So then he said, it is actually this Purva Paksha is Satyam Vritti Manasam Karma eva. Though this is true, yet that Vritti becomes the Upadhi, riding on which the Pratibimba, the reflection of consciousness, is there. No, consciousness means knowledge alone will destroy. That jnanam alone, swarupa jnanam alone will destroy. But it will require to be riding on the vritti. ठीक है ना उन्नी? So far so good. So रूपग्रहणे नेत्रवत् उपाधिभूता एव न स्वयं निवर्तिका. So vritti does not become the nivartika. Who is the nivartaka? Nivartaka means the remover. Jnanam alone is the nivartaka. But that vritti becomes the upadhi, the condition which is required for the knowledge to ride. Jnanam tu nivartakam nityam. And so the Siddhanta remains that knowledge alone removes ignorance, remains unmodified, unchallenged. Then he explained to you that what is Swarupa Jnanam and what is called as Vritti Jnanam. And this is the Jnana Dvaividhyam. And for which then he adopted the Prakriya of Panchadashi, which is the Prakriya of Abhasavad. So over here, that example, he has picked up that example bodily from there. And that example is on the wall, simultaneously you're going to see two lights. One is the sunlight and one is the reflected light of the sun from the mirror. And so there is Khaditya Dipti. Khadikha means Akasha. You remember, right? Yesterday's Khaditya Dipti is there. The Prakash of Aditya from Akash. Khaditya Dipti is there. Otherwise, Khaditya means Khana Khada. Isn't it? Aditya means Khaditya. Bela, you remember yesterday's example?
Yes, Swamiji.
Khaditya and Darpana Aditya.
Yeah.
How many Adityas did you find?
Aditya is one, but Darpana Adityas are several.
So two Adityas now. One is the Khaditya, one is the Darpanastha Aditya. What is actually Darpanastha Aditya? It is the reflection of the Khaditya only. And so when there is this condition of the mirror, now the dipti of that sun looks more prominent than the Khaditya dipti. And so on the wall, you are going to find two lights simultaneously. Khaditya's light and Darpana Aditya's light. Jama, you were not there yesterday, na? So now that example, it's okay. It's very important. Even you can meditate on that example actually. Sit with your eyes closed someday, not now. Otherwise, immediately, Swamiji said, meditate. No, not now. Later. You know, these people, some of them have got this habit. They will go for some pravachan and with japamala they will sit. Now you're listening or you're doing japa, you tell me. Because at a time you can do only one thing. So neither japa, that japa is also khandita japa, and this shravanam is also khandita shravanam. So not here, not there. So some people, Swamiji, when you speak, we feel like meditating. Nothing, you're feeling sleepy. No. Don't meditate now, later on. So you have that Khaditya Diptayascha. So, and where does that now you have understood the two lights that are available? Where does he take that example to for why that example is provided? Then obviously the point also which he wants to drive home also has to be brought. And what is that? Jagrat Swapna Sushuptishu in all the three avasthas. So that light by which even the Ajnanam is illumined. Dhyan dena isme. What does the Swarupa Jnanam do? Does it destroy the Ajnanam or does it illumine the Ajnanam?
It illumines the Ajnanam.
So it doesn't destroy Ajnanam. Swarupa Jnanam is not virodhi of anyone. So this is the next point that will come. That Swarupa Jnanam is not anyone's virodhi. Okay. And so, but how does it become Virodhi? Only when it is riding the vritti. And so, tat swarupa bhutam jnanam vrittishu pravishya ajnanam nashayati. Kevala buddhi vrittihi ajnanam nashayatum neshte. Remember this one, right? Yesterday's last sentence. Tat swarupa bhutam jnanam. What is the swarupa bhutam jnanam? That jnanam by which even the ajnanam, avyaktam is also illumined. And how do you know avyaktam? If avyaktam is illumined, then avyaktam will not remain avyaktam. It is illumined as avyaktam. Okay? And so, Swarupa Bhutam Jnanam Vrittishu Pravishya, the Swarupa Bhutam Jnanam, which is there available in Sushupti. Now, what does it do? Vrittishu Pravishya. It enters the Vritti. How has it entered the Vritti? Like opening the door, it enters, or what? Or like some box is opened and then you keep Paramatma in Vritti. What?
It's
How does
Sarva
it enter?
Vyapak.
सर्वव्यापक होने से प्रवेश कैसे किया फिर?
It is there only. It is never not there.
But then what is the point of saying then the Vrittishu Pravishya? And there is Pravesha Shruti also.
As Chidabhasa.
Now, don't go anywhere else. Just look at the example that he has provided to understand this topic. Darpana Aditya. So the Aditya has entered the Darpana or not, and then throwing his dikti from there. How is that entry of the Kaditya into the Darpana? Like that, it is only a reflection of consciousness in the vritti. Why in the vritti? Reflection falls everywhere. The sunlight is reflected from every surface or not. Yet where the surface is extremely polished, then it becomes, the light reflects in a different way. Like all over in South India, you have granite temples in granite stone. So if you go to look at the granite which is extracted from the mine, it is just a stone, rough. But when it is polished, it looks like a mirror. You can actually see your face in it, isn't it? So now the reflection on the same surface becomes clear. Like that, vritti, but because vritti is the karyam of what karana?
Antarkarana.
Man-
Antakarana.
अंतःकरण
मन और अंतःकरण मनो और अंतःकरण
Antakaranam. Antakaranam. Mana is partner. Antakaranam, better. And Antakaranam, if you remember, is composed of Sattva Guna of all the five elements. It is a composite of Sattva Guna from all the five elements, if you remember. And therefore, now, because there is Sattva Guna, therefore, the vritti of the Antakaranam also is Sattva Guna Pradhana only. And therefore, now reflection becomes possible. Got the whole thing? Everybody there with me on the same page? Sundaram?
जी स्वामी जी.
Okay?
Comment. जी स्वामी जी.
So there you go. So, vrittaya sarvapi antakarana dharmaha jnanam atmasvarupam. Now, where will you keep the vrittis? In the Atma or Antakarana Dharma?
अंतःकरण धर्म
अंतःकरण
Sarvapi Vrittaya. No matter what. Oh, this is a noble vritti, so it belongs to Atma. Oh, this is an ignoble vritti, so it belongs to Antakarana. Is it something like that? Noble or
No.
ignoble? Vritti is Antakarana Dharma. Got it? Vrittaya sarvapi Antakarana Dharma And so, Jnanam Atmasvapam. Tasmad, 56, 59 page. Has everybody got you? Jayama, आपके पास पुस्तक नहीं होगी ना?
हाँ स्वामी जी
कैसे
वहाँ
कैसे सुनिए, कैसे पढ़ेंगे?
ऋषिकेश पे है, आके मिल जाएगा।
बेला तुम्हारे पास है कि नहीं है पुस्तक?
No, Swamiji.
तुम्हें दिया ही नहीं था?
No, no, Swamiji.
स्वामी जी
मेरे यहाँ की
भास्कर
कॉपीज
ने
खत्म हो गई
पीडीएफ
होंगी।
शेयर किया है ना, स्कैन पीडीएफ भास्कर ने शेयर किया है सबके
हाँ,
साथ।
भास्कर जी शेयर।
या आई विल शेयर इट अगेन इन द ग्रुप।
हाँ भाई, keep the and on PDF page number 70. So tasmad atmano ajnanamati atmakara vritti pravishtena swarupa jnanena eva vinashyam na buddhi vrittya. Now come to this. Ghata jnana is destroyed by what? By
घटवृत्ति
the jnanam with the conditioning of ghatakara vritti. Who said ghatakara vritti? Just
I
don't. No,
myself.
no. Don't forget that we have technically what destroys that vritti destroys ajnanam. Is that what is it saying in Siddhanta? No, jnanam destroys ajnanam. Vritti by itself is a product of ajnanam. How can it destroy ajnanam? It in fact, it has no capacity to be the ajnana virodhi. But then why do you require vritti if vritti is not destroying ignorance? So just as you require ghatakara vritti, but in that ghatakara vritti also the consciousness is reflected or not. So now consciousness riding on the vritti becomes the destroyer. Reflected consciousness becomes the destroyer of ignorance. That is what we are going to see. Tasmad atmano, now of the atma, ajnanam api, the ajnanam concerning atma. Okay? Just as you have ichha, ajnanam, jnanam, they will have their own specific vishayas. Correct? So when you say I have a desire, what is the object of that desire also needs to be said, specified. It cannot be otherwise. So there is ajnanam. So ajnanam about what? Ghata, concerning ghata or concerning pata. So whatever, now we are talking about ajnanam concerning what? Atma. Okay. Atmanaha ajnanam api. Atmanaha ajnanam means belonging to Atma is not the thing. It belongs always, whichever ajnanam it is always seated on Atma only. So, Atmanaha ajnanam over here means, now what is the Vishaya of this ajnanam? Only what is the Vishaya?
Atma.
Atma is the Vishaya. You understand now? Object, like your desire also has an object. I have a desire. What desire do you have? So, what is the object of your desire? Then that desire becomes meaningful or not a word. I have a desire. You have a desire for a car. You want a new house. You want something else. You want to buy new clothes, whatever. So now you will have to say, I have a desire, means desire for something. Like ajnanam. Then ajnanam about what? Concerning what? So atmanaha ajnanam means concerning atma. So tasmad atmanaha ajnanam ki atmakara vritti pravishtena Swarupa jnanena eva vinashyam. So also now jnanam, swarupa jnanam, which is reflected or which has entered, let us keep that word as it is, pravesha, which has entered into the vritti. What kind of vritti is this? Atmakara vritti. Okay? Brahmakara vritti, Atmakara vritti. Atmakara vritti pravishtena swarupa jnanena eva vinashyam. So even this ajnanam is destroyed by swarupa jnanam. But what is the condition? When does this swarupa jnanam becomes virodhi?
आत्माकारवृत्ति प्रविष्टेन
When it is riding on
आत्माकारवृत्ति
the vritti, atmakara. So the buddhi vritti does not destroy, na buddhi vrittya. Swarupa jnanena eva vinashyam. Whether it is ghatajnanam, patashjnanam or atma jnanam. Everywhere, wherever there is ajnanam, who is the virodhi? Swarupa jnanam alone is virodhi. But Swarupa jnanam becomes virodhi only with the conditioning of
वृत्ति
tad vritti, tadakara. Tadakara means ghatakara vritti will destroy ghatajnanam, patakara vritti will destroy patajnanam,
पटज्ञान
atmakara vritti will destroy atmanaha jnanam. Got it all? Now, further. Na karma koti sahasrena vinash. And therefore, the Siddhanta remains unbudged from its place. And that is karma koti sahasrena ajnanam na vinashyam. And therefore, what is the moksha sadhanam?
ज्ञानम
Jnanam
Swaswarupa
is,
Jnanam.
huh?
Swaswarupa Jnanam is that.
Jnanam is the, jnanam alone is the moksha sadhanam. Nothing else is moksha sadhanam. Everything becomes moksha sadhanam by in the parampara. Karma also becomes, bhakti also becomes, yoga also becomes moksha sadhanam by doing certain work and culminating into knowledge.
अंतःकरण शुद्धि
Na karma koti sahasrena vinash. He gives you an example. Yatha satkarma eva papakarma nashayati. Now, you have done some, you means, I'm not saying you, okay. Someone has done some pap. Okay. Someone has committed a pap. Then this papa karma, now he knows that if I'm doing the papa, it will bring me the consequence. What is the consequence of papa? Dukkham. Now, you will get into that kind of a janma, wherein that papa will bring you immense dukkha. That's why you see some people in this life also. Now, in this life, they have not done anything wrong, yet one after another calamity is coming on their way. And that is because some purva dushkrita is coming in this form. Okay, remember. And how this karma becomes, gives the phalam is also a very complicated process. So there goes one story in Mahabharata that one rishi somehow was punished. In the olden days, there were very crude punishments also. That he was made to sit on a shula. Okay, Shula means it used to be a conical iron sharp thing. And then that person was made to sit on it. So through the anus, it would go tearing inside the body to the heart. And so it is a painful death. So some rishi was also punished for that. So they said, how come he is punished? What is it? And they looked into his some Purva Janma or his childhood. As a small child in play, he had he had killed one Kita by piercing a thorn into its abdomen. And so now that thing comes as it is. So you see how the karma brings its result is a little complicated process. We need not know how it is going to bring what karma. All that you need to know is Papa brings dukkham and punya brings sukham. This much knowledge is enough. Now, what is going to happen? Now, if you want to go into some specifics, Puranas, etc., and some Smriti Grantha have got those specifics. But not everything can be ever spoken. Gahana karmano. Krishna Bhagavan says, what is it? The karma gati is extremely complicated. How it is going to bring some phala. So now all that you have to understand is that some papa karma is done. Now, in order to neutralize that papa karma, Shastra will tell you what kind of karma is going to do that. So one papa karma is done. So another papa karma is not going to neutralize it. Correct? Another papa karma is not going to neutralize it. Therefore, what will you require is some satkarma, punya karma. And that should also be what? Shastrokta, as told by the Shastra. And so, yathas, otherwise you will say, oh, I did this papa karma, tomorrow morning I will go and distribute some glucose biscuits in an orphanage. That is satkarma, that's fine. Yatha, but then, will that satkarma neutralize this or not is also a question. That's a satkarma, nice. Do some good karma. Yatha satkarma eva papakarma nashayati. Just as some satkarma alone destroys the papakarma, evam vrittijnanam eva. Thus, in this way also, underline this. Vrittijnanam eva ajnanam nashayati. Swarupa jnanam does not destroy the ignorance. Jnanam nashayati, ajnanam nashayati is okay. But out of the dvivida jnanas, which jnanam destroys the ajnanam? Vritti jnanam eva. Evam. Thus, from that evam, that's the conclusion. Evam. Thus, in the same way, vritti jnanam eva ajnanam nashayati. Further. Yatha manikyam shilarupamapi. So this manikyam means a ruby. Now in this Ambani's wedding, people are seeing all rubies and diamonds in heaps everywhere. Banu?
I have not seen or followed that.
Array, it is everywhere.
I know,
Left,
but
right, and center.
I have not followed that.
No, you don't need to follow it. It's just coming like that, like a feed. Yatha manikyam. We see manikyam there and emeralds there. That's okay. What? Like a rock. So yatha manikyam shila rupa. Now this manikyam is what? Jayama? It's another type of a stone.
Sheila
So
Rupam.
Shila. So that's why you call it stone only, but you call it precious stone.
Precious.
कुछ नहीं है, पत्थर ही है. Precious stone. यथा माणिक्यम शिलारूपमपि प्रकाशयुक्तत्वेन, but because it has that special capacity to glow, reflect light. So when light falls on it, it reflects in a way that it becomes glowing. It glows. So Shila Rupamapi Prakasha Yuktatvena. Otherwise, every Shila, on every rock and every stone and every pebble, the light is falling. Okay. But when on Manikya Shila it falls, what happens? Prakasha Yuktatvena Ratna Deepam iti Vyavahariyate. But it is called as Ratna Deepa. Manikya Shila alone is called as Ratna Deepa. Why is it called as Ratna Deepa? Because Prakasha Yuktatvena. So also Vritti with the light of consciousness now is called as Jnanam. Evam Vritti Jnanasyapi Manovritti Rupatvepi. So now the Vritti Jnanam also, though is a modification of mind, karma only, jada only, yet Vritti-jnanasyapi manovritti-rupatvepi swapravishta swarupa-jnana-yuktatvat jnanam iti vyavaharu gaunaha. So also now Vritti-jnanam is Vritti, that Vritti is also called as Jnanam, and therefore you have it as Vritti-jnanam. So not that there are two types of knowledges. Knowledge is knowledge, Swarupa Jnanam. But why are you seeing two types? Because this knowledge which is pravishta in the Vritti, the consciousness which is reflected in the Vritti, and that's why it becomes Vritti Jnanam. Thus, therefore, you call every information also as knowledge. That's why you treat information Vritti also as knowledge alone. And so, Vyavaharo Gauna. How is this Vyavahara? Gauna. Because of the Guna. And that's why it is Gauna. So, in your class, there is some student, and he is a bright student. So, the teacher says, hey, he is the star of the class. Is the star means what? He will go and sit with sun and moon and all over. What? Huh? What? No, all that is meant is just as the sun has, what is the guna of sun? Bright. So also this fellow is bright, brilliant, and so is called as the star of the class. Isn't it? So thus, concerning the guna, he is called as star means not that, chamakta hai, या ऊपर ऊपर आसमान में चमकता है तारा है, ऐसी नहीं बात है. It is just what? Guna, gauna vyavahara, concerning the guna, quality. Okay. Na karmeti vyavahara. So calling it knowledge is, this is how you do it. This is the transaction. And so, therefore, nobody calls it as karma. It is called as knowledge only. And how is that vyavahara? Kauna vyavahara. ठीक है? Nanu sushuptau.
അതൊന്ന് ഓൺ ചെയ്യേ നാട്ടെന്ന് എന്തിനാ വീട് നാട്ട് സോറി
No worries. Nanu sushuptau swarupa jnanasya jnana prakashkatmena virodha bhava katham jnanam ajnanam nashaye iti ched. So furthermore, this is the doubt. Purva Paksha has an objection. Sushuptau, in the Sushupti. What is it that you discover in the Sushupti? Ajnana, Madhur. Is not it? Ignorance. There is nothing known. No, I did not know anything. The experience of Sushupti. So Ajnanam is there. And this Ajnanam is there. But there is Ajnanam. How will it be known or how can it be experienced if it is not illumined? If it does not become the object of consciousness? ठीक है ना? उन्हें ठीक है ना? This much. So obviously it is illumined. Sushuptau swarupa jnanasya ajnana prakashkatvena. So now, first of all, Sushupti is there. In Sushupti, Ajnanam is there. This Ajnanam is illumined by the consciousness, and this consciousness is not. It is called as Swarupa Jnanam. And so, this Swarupa Jnanam illumines the Ajnanam. Now, what is the fourth point that comes? Yeah, you want to say something, Pune?
Yeah, Swamiji. Swamiji, in the past chapters, especially when Shushupti was discussed, right? Most of the examples that were given were like, if you do not experience the same in Shushupti, it means that experience is not correct. Or that was the conclusive aspect used, wherein like, if in Shushupti you do not experience it, then we can discard that it is not true. But here we are saying in Shushupti, everything is ignorance. So isn't it contradicting in a way?
The voice is not clear. What is it?
Swamiji, what I was saying is, in the past chapters, right, when examples were given or particular instances were taken, the most important factor used was, if you do not experience the same in Shushupti, like if you are able to experience it in sleep, if you are able to experience in Jagrat, but you don't experience the same in Shushupti, it means that that's not the real experience, right? Now here, what we are saying is, Shushupti itself is ignorance. What happens in Shushupti is so. Isn't it contradictory in a way when?
Why contradiction? What contradiction are you seeing? I'm not seeing any contradiction. Can somebody rephrase this question for me? Maybe I'm not able to understand. Can somebody help me understand it?
I think he's trying to ask, when we say an experience is real, only when it is also experienced in Sushupti.
Sushupti.
If the experience is not there in Sushupti, it was there only in Jagrut or Swapna Avastha, we are calling that experience as unreal.
All right. Yeah, you're right. See, the consciousness, like the sunlight, Khaditya, is consistent on the wall or not?
Yes.
Is consistent. The sunlight is present even where the Darpanaditya Dipti is there, where the reflected light of the Darpana, the sun in the mirror, is also there. So therefore, can you say that the sunlight is not there in the Darpanaditya Dipti, but sunlight is there in and around the Darpanaditya, but not in the Darpanaditya Dipti? Only.
We cannot say that. It is there.
So, what is consistent on the wall?
Aditya.
Sun, the
Aditya Dipti.
Aditya Dipti
Yeah.
is consistent. So also this Darpanaditya Dipti in that place, these are specific spaces of more illumination, which is like the Jagrat and Swapna, which is like Jagrat and Swapna. So what is consistent in Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti? What is consistent? So let us take
Aditya.
two
Aditya Dipti.
Darpanaditya Diptis. And they're specific or not? So let us call one as Jagrat Avastha and one as Swapna Avastha. And where there is no specific light, that is Sushupti Avastha. Is all the elements of the example clear? Then now what is consistent in Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti? Or what is consistent in the two Khaditya Diptis and in between the Khaditya Diptis is
Aditya Dipti.
the general sunlight.
Yes. Aditya Dipti.
So, similarly, the consciousness, this anubhava, this experience, the consciousness is consistent throughout Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Is throughout Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. But why are we saying that this consciousness is there only, not saying only in Sushupti, we are saying it is there everywhere, but in the Sushupti Avastha, the specific knowledge is not there. The specific knowledge, now this is my wife, this is my son, this is my house. Is there any specific knowledge? I am having headache, I'm not having headache. Any specific knowledge is there?
No.
In the deep sleep state?
No.
There is no such because of there is no vritti.
Correct. Therefore, what you say, so there is no contradiction. What is this general, the consciousness, this experience is consistent in all the three. And that is what is true. That what comes and goes, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, all three come and go. But that which does not come and go, but that which illumines the coming and going and their being over there, सारे तमाशे को जो प्रकाशित करता है, वह प्रकाश कौन है? वह सत्य है. वो सत्य है. आप देखना.
इसके में स्वामी जी फिर भी सुषुप्ति में अज्ञान तो है ही ना.
रहने दो ना. सुषुप्ति
फिर वो
में
सच हो क्या? जो सुषुप्ति में है वो रियल है ऐसे कहा तो ये अज्ञान भी रियल हो जाएगा फिर. जो सुषुप्ति में हम अनुभव करते हैं, जागृत में भी करते हैं, स्वप्न में भी करते हैं और सुषुप्ति में भी करते हैं, तीनों स्टेट में जो है उसी को सच कहते हैं. तो वो अज्ञान तो तीनों में भी है ना थोड़ा बहुत, तो वो सच हुआ.
देखो, सुषुप्ति में केवल अज्ञान है. जागृत स्वप्न में क्या है? अज्ञान कार्य रूप में परिणत हो जाता है ना? समझे कि नहीं? कार्य रूप में परिणत हो जाता है. और सुषुप्ति में अज्ञान समेट लेता है और केवल वही उतना ही रहता है. कहीं पे फूला हुआ है, कहीं पे समेटा हुआ है. तो अज्ञान के भी रूप बदलते हैं कि नहीं बदलते? डॉक्टर मीरा
जी हाँ.
अज्ञान के रूप भी बदलते हैं कि नहीं बदलते?
बदलते हैं, लेकिन वो है ना उधर.
जागृत स्वप्न में वह फैला हुआ
बोलता है.
और सुषुप्ति अवस्था में वो समेटा हुआ
सिकुड़ जाता है।
हम्म। तो अज्ञान भी एक जैसा रहता
नहीं,
है अज्ञान तो, लेकिन एक जैसा क्या है?
स्वरूप।
बस इन सब का प्रकाशक। उसमें कोई विकार नहीं आया, कोई बदलाव नहीं आया, कोई परिणाम नहीं। वह शांत एक जैसे जैसे के तैसे ही है, चाहे जो अवस्था है और ना है। द जनरल सनलाइट इज प्रेजेंट एवरीवेयर on the wall. Like that, the Swarupa Jnanam is present even in Jagrat, Swapna, and Sushupti. But
जी
in
स्वामी जी।
order, but in order to know what is this Swarupa Jnanam, where will you have to turn your attention?
Vritti.
स्वरूप।
To that area where the vrittis are not there. And what is that?
Sushupti.
सुषुप्ति।
That's
जी स्वामी
if
जी।
if this happens,
Swamiji, could you give us an English for vritti? Is it attributes? Vritti. In English, what would be the right word?
modification of mind. That is what the authors have used. Even for a common parlance, we say thoughts.
Okay.
And they're specific. Ghatakara, patakara is specific. Good, bad, pleasant, unpleasant, specific. That's why. So one of the methods of samadhi abhyas is this, that follow the sushupti, to follow sushupti, to contemplate on sushupti. And if this happens, then sushupti avastha itself becomes samadhi. That's why Jnani's sushupti is samadhi, because sushupti is the experience of ignorance, but his ignorance is destroyed. Svarupa is shining over there, and therefore you may see the Jnani sleeping, but what is there? It is samadhi. That's why Shri Krishna Bhagavan says, Ya Nisha Sarvabhutanam Tasyam Jagrati Sanyami Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sa Nisha Pashyatu Mune. Okay. In Jivan Mukti, we make a very beautiful, elaborate discussion and analysis of this statement is there. It is wonderful. Kalamdo. We have to, sometimes if you ever study Jivan Mukti Viveka, you will see this. All right. So now, enough of this. Vyavaharu Jnanam. So vritti is called as Jnanam. This is a Gauna Prayoga. But in any which case, it is not called as karma. Okay? It is not called, it is karma, but it is not called as karma because there is a Gauna Prayoga of vritti being knowledge. All right? So we will stop over here and we will meet tomorrow in the evening to see how vritti jnanam becomes the virodhi. Vritti is not the virodhi of ajnana. What is the virodhi? Vritti jnanam is virodhi. Another important thing is jnanam is also not virodhi. Jnana means swarupa. That is not Virodhi. Only when there is Vritti Jnanam, it becomes Virodhi. That's why you require Shiva with Parvati. भगवान शंकर कुछ नहीं करेंगे. शिव शक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुम. This is how सौंदर्य लहरी begins ना. भगवान शंकर करते हैं. वृत्ति ज्ञानम is required. चलो. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. नमः पार्वतीपतये. हर हर
हर हर महादेव. श्री गुरुभ्यो
Thank you all. Thank you very much. The 7 to 8
Thank
is
you.
Hindi Laghuvasudeva Mananam. So those who want to join Hindi class, they can join Hindi. 7 to 8. Thank you all. Thank you.
हरि ओम प्रणाम स्वामी जी.
Hariom Pranam.